What's up, Baller Nation? Augie Johnston here with, you already know, another Q&A. So I'm going to be answering all your guys' questions in our Facebook group. I asked that for more questions that you guys had for me, about me personally, or about basketball, so that I can answer them in this video. So if you're not a part of that group, you can click the first link in the description. If not, you can also leave your questions as a comment to this video down below on YouTube as well, and I'll try to get them into my next Q&A. So let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's get into it. Again, I'm sorry if I mispronounce any names. A lot of international people in this group and stuff. So first question comes from Ali Ahmad, and he says, if you could be drafted by one current NBA team, which one and why? So for me, I would probably want to be drafted right now by the Lakers. It looks like they have a nice young squad that's going to be coming up and having some good seasons in the future. Maybe not this year, but I think next year probably was going to be like a big surprise year for everyone, where they're going to have an awesome season. Also, I want to stay in California, so my second and third choice would be the Clippers and the Warriors. Of course, the Warriors. I would love to jump on that team because they have an awesome team. They're probably going to be in the finals this year, or at least in the Western Conference Finals. So number one choice, Lakers, because in the future I see them maybe winning a championship or at least getting to the finals. Probably then the Warriors would be second choice. I know I said Clippers, but Warriors, because they're probably going to be getting a championship. Third, Clippers. I'm from California. I was born in Seattle actually, but then we moved down here to California when I was 2 years old, so I was pretty much raised up here. And I've lived, mostly here in San Luis Obispo County, which is Central Coast, 4 hours north of LA, 4 hours south of San Francisco. Anyways, number one choice, Lakers. Next question comes from Jamal Jackman, and he says, what is the best exercise to improve your vertical jump if you're a small guy? Now, it doesn't matter if you're a small guy or tall guy, it's gonna be the same exercise to improve anybody's vertical leap. And I'm not like an expert when it comes to vertical leap or anything, but I have, of course, throughout my long career, my long journey in basketball, worked hard to try to jump higher and done a lot of research and that kind of stuff. And there's no really right one answer, one exercise. There's a bunch of different things that do different things. But if I was to choose one exercise that I could do to on a consistent basis to try to jump higher, it'd be depth jumps, okay? So if you are watching this video and you are a vertical leap expert, go ahead and leave your comment and let me know if you agree or disagree. But what depth jumps are is basically when you start up on a platform, okay, and you jump off of the platform, or basically you fall, you drop off of the platform, land, and really quickly try to get up off the ground. Throughout all my research and all my years, this has been the one exercise, the most consistent plyometric exercise that I've seen that is pretty much always recommended in any kind of program, any kind of workout. And that's depth jumps. And it's actually a pretty high intensity because of the fact of that heavy load of you dropping off. You're really loading up your muscle to jump up and get off the ground quickly and with more power. And the next question, it comes from Paul Matheson, and he says, how do you deal with people on the sidelines? So how do you deal with people on the sidelines? So I guess he's talking about, people in the crowd or haters on the sideline, mocking him or talking trash or trying to get in his head or whatever. And for me, this has happened to me a few times, but for me it actually helps me play better. It's almost like the saying, don't wake up the sleeping dragon or don't wake up the sleeping dog, is basically where happened actually the other night with Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant in that Warrior game when they were playing against the Thunder, Cantor from the Thunder bench was saying something to him. I can't remember what he was saying. But he said something to Durant and it got Durant going, right? It really got him motivated, so he started even going more. I think he finished the game with like 39 points or something like that. So for me, when someone's talking to me, you can't let that get in your head. You got to use that as motivation. You got to use that to fuel the fire, basically. If someone's, mocking you from the sideline or saying some things to you from the sideline, just remember, they're on the sideline, you're on the court. So as long as you keep that in perspective, then you can understand that whatever they say, it doesn't matter. They're not playing, they're not in the game. You're the one that the coach on your team is put in the game. You're the one that has put in the work to make the team, to whatever the case might be. You're the guy, not them. Whatever they say is just because of their insecurities. That's really the main reason that people try to tear you down, is to try to build themselves up. People really struggle with self-belief and in believing in themselves. So if they're sitting next to you as your peer, they have no belief in themselves, so they believe that if they can't do it, therefore you can't do it. But if you know my philosophies, the first step is believing in yourself And once you do that, then really anything is possible, because that's the hardest really barrier to overcome. So I don't know if I've completely answered your question or not, but just put it in perspective. You're the one that is on the court, they're not. Whatever they say, it's irrelevant. All right, on to the next question. All right, this question comes from Christopher Keener, and he says, whenever I play against a new good opponent, I suddenly don't trust my dribbling and I get intimidated to try any moves. And I think this is kind of normal. When you have a good defender on you, right, you don't want to put the ball down, you become less aggressive, you might just pass it away every time you get it. But what I would say to that is, just keep it simple. There's no need to ever even use a move, really. I teach all these different kind of moves and stuff, and that's good. That's for more high-level players. You don't need to be even trying all these dribble moves against good defenders or any defenders, really. Keep it simple, guys. Use your triple threat, catch, rip through, and basically move without the basketball, okay? Be good without the basketball. Therefore, when you get a catch, you don't have to do anything but either rip through, shoot it, or whatever, okay? Make a jab, do one direction, change directions, and go by the defense. That's how you play basketball. Go watch college basketball. You'll see that those guys aren't, okay, yeah, the point guard on the team usually has the responsibility to create using the dribble, but everyone else on the court, they're not using the dribble to create, okay? They're moving without the ball, they're getting the ball in a good spot to where they can just put it down, get to the rim in one dribble and finish. So it doesn't matter if you have a good defender on you or not, you shouldn't be playing with the ball in front of anybody really, unless that's your game. Like I said, high school, college, junior high. Okay, NBA, yeah, you're gonna see, James Harden going isolation, one-on-one, like the whole entire game, but really at no other levels do you see guys, using the dribble like that. Be a smart player, use a screen, create a closeout situation, which is your main goal on offense, is to create a closeout situation so that they have to close out, otherwise you're open to shoot, and then you can go by without having to use a move. So to summarize that really quick, be good without the ball, therefore you don't have to use any kind of moves against the good defenders. All right, so this next question, it comes from Bobby Howard. Shout out to Bobby, love that guy, he's always helping out in the group. And he asked, until dunks are worth 4 points, how much time should you spend strictly on vertical jump training? And I think he's being a little sarcastic there when he's talking about until dunks are worth 4 points, but I know exactly what he's getting at here. So
I'm only gonna start dunking when a dunk is worth 3 points.
the question, let me answer the question first. How much time should you be spending on vertical leap? In my opinion, working on your vertical leap is probably the third or fourth most important thing that you should be working on in basketball. Number one is your skill set, okay? And I'm just gonna lump ball handling, shooting, finishing, and all that kind of stuff into one category. Those are the things that you should be spending the bulk of your time, your training time on improving. Number two, I would say, is your agility / your quickness. I'm talking about your lateral movement, okay? So that's when we're talking about defense, your ability to stop and start. We're talking about agility and your first step. Quickness and agility are probably the second most important thing to work on. Having a great vertical leap and stuff, that's gonna help you a lot, but we all know the guys that can jump out the gym, but they can't play that well. Now, there are guys that can jump and ball out, so no offense to anybody here, because if you can jump, great. But I see a lot of players only worrying about their vertical leap and spending way too much time on it when they can't even make a left-handed layup, yet they're spending an hour every single day trying to jump higher. So work on your skill set, work on your agility, because quickness is king on the court. Because it's not about how high you can jump, but really about positioning and getting to certain spots on the court. Whether it's to get by your defender, stopping and starting your defender, agility and quickness is huge in basketball, and it's probably one of the most overlooked things. Okay, so the third most important thing, probably I would say, is your vertical leap. So when it comes to how much time you're allocating to it, let's say you work out 6 days a week, okay? Dedicated players, they work out 6 days a week hard, and they take one day as their rest day or their recovery day. So what I would recommend is that 2 out of those 6 days, you're working on your vertical leap. All the other days, you're working on your skill set, you're playing 5-on-5 open gym or in game or whatever kind of scrimmaging you can get. And then, of course, you want to get in your agility, you want to get in your vertical leap 2 days a week. Also, 2 days a week, you want to be doing upper body strength, maybe 3 days. Depends what time of the year it is. Is it preseason? Is it in season? Is it off season? Or whatever the case might be. But 2 to 3 times a week, work on that vertical leap, because you need days in between to rest and let your legs recover so that you're able to actually see gains. Otherwise, you're just gonna be tearing down your legs and you're never gonna actually see any gains in your jumping. So it is important. I don't want to just play it down. Jumping is important in basketball. Obviously, you want to be able to jump up, block shots, jump up, grab rebounds, jump up, finish against taller defenders. But it's not as important as every single player, it seems like, in the world makes it to be. But it is good to work on. I know I've worked on mine a bunch in my life. All right, on to the next question. All right, Solomon Kim, shout out to you, asked, how would I play defense as a smaller player? I'm 5'6". So there's a few things you can do as a smaller player. Now, normally if you're a shorter guy, then you have quickness. That's how you're able to stay on the court, because you're quick. So if you're small and you're probably someone's penetrating on you and they're finishing over you because you're little, or they're posting you up and they're finishing, you need to beat them to the spot. If they can't get into the paint, then you have a much better chance of making them shoot a contested jump shot off the dribble, or not even shooting the ball, passing. So beat them to the spot. If they catch the ball and they're gonna penetrate right, step in front of them, try to beat them to the spot, cut off that angle so that they don't get a direct drive to the basket, keep them out of the paint. Another thing you can do if players are starting to post you up when you're shorter is you can front. What fronting is basically you can get around the guy who's posting you up, get to the front side, and make them lob the ball over the top of you. Now, that can be tricky sometimes, because if they lob that ball over you and he's able to seal you off and get that catch, it's an easy layup. But you just need to alert your teammates. There should be a help defense when you're doing that on the other side, to any kind of lob pass that goes over can easily be stolen by the help defender. So just be on the same page with your teammates and try fronting in the post. Also, if you're a shorter guy and maybe you're 5'6" and you're guarding a guy that's 6'4", and anytime he gets the catch, he's able to shoot over you, or he can kind of do what he wants, deny that guy. I think deny defense is like super overlooked, super not preached enough, because I know if I'm playing defense and I have to guard the best player on the other team, I'm always trying to make sure that he can't get the ball. If I can deny enough to where he can't get a catch, then I've done my job, and he's gonna score a lot less points throughout the game. Imagine, let's say he gets the ball, and normally in a game, let's say 60 times, okay, that's a high number, but let's just say he gets a catch, 60 catches in the half-court offense or in operating zone. If you can cut that 60 down to 30 or 20, then boom, you've done your job. He's not gonna have a great night, and you just gotta make sure that you're not killing your teammates by not playing help defense, because you're always out there face guarding or denying. But try that. Try denying, try face guarding the guy a little bit if you know that every time he gets the ball he scores on you, because he's just so much bigger. All right, and this next question comes from the YouTube comments. I want to take one or two from the YouTube comments and the majority from our Facebook group. So if you want a question answered, make sure you jump in the Facebook group. And this last one comes from Wise Magical Hags. Okay, that's just his username on YouTube. And he asks, what college did you go to? So I went to Cal State Monterey Bay. It's a D2 up in Monterey Bay, California. It's about two hours north from where I'm living now in San Luis Obispo, about 2 hours south of San Francisco. And yeah, like I said, Cal State Monterey Bay, it's a D2. It's in the CCAA is the conference, CCAA. And there's a lot of other good schools in that conference. It's one of the best Division II conferences in the entire country. Pretty much every year there's a team from that conference in the Final Four for D2 and stuff. So we have schools like Cal Poly Pomona, Humboldt State, Chico State, UC San Diego, Cal State San Bernardino, Cal State LA, Sonoma State is in that conference, just to name a few. So yeah, I had a good college career. That's what really opened up the door for me to go play overseas. Like a lot of you guys know, my senior year of college, I scored like 16 points a game and was able to have the second best 3-point percentage in the entire country at 50%, and shooting, I think you have to make over 3.5 threes per game, which is actually a good amount of threes. So that's what I did. I played college, I was a shooter. I came into college as a point guard, and then I improved my shot a whole bunch, kind of figured out that I wasn't quick enough anymore to be point guard, and I transitioned over to shooting guard, was able to develop that jumper, and the rest of my scoring game able to be a scorer. And alright guys, that's it for this video. If you like this video, click that like button. Make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know any other questions you want me to answer in the next video. And now that you watched the video, go and watch another video. I got tons of training tutorials. There's a link on the screen right now that you can click to subscribe if you're new, or to check out another video. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for being subscribers. You guys are the best, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah.